My name is Amanda. I'm sitting in my new Berlin apartment, looking out at the city lights, and the memories come flooding back. It was a sunny morning in Chicago, and I was stepping off the plane with Julian by my side. We were on our way to Tessa and Ethan's wedding, a day I never thought I'd face. I remember the first time I saw that photo. It was a Friday evening in early November, and I was in my Seattle apartment, scrolling through my phone after a long week at work. There it was, a picture of Tessa, my best friend of nearly a decade, kissing Ethan, the man I thought was the love of my life. The caption read, "The most beautiful things come when you least expect them. A new chapter begins." My world shattered in an instant. Ethan and I had broken up 9 months ago. He'd sat across from me at our usual coffee spot, telling me he needed time to find himself. I'd been so naive, thinking he just needed space. But now, seeing that photo, I realized he'd been lying. He'd found someone else, and that someone else was Tessa. I called Tessa, my hands shaking so badly, I could barely hold the phone. She answered on the third ring, sounding as if nothing had happened. I asked her when it had started, and she admitted it had been going on for 3 months. 3 months of lies, of her coming to my place to comfort me, while she was with the man I loved. After that call, I spiraled into a deep depression. I took unpaid leave from work, cut off all contact with my friends, and spent my days in a haze of self-pity. I stopped eating, stopped leaving the apartment, and just existed in a world of pain. Then my brother Ryan showed up at my door one Saturday morning. He lived in Tacoma, almost an hour away, but he could tell something was wrong. He pulled back the curtains, letting the sunlight in, and told me I was throwing my life away. He reminded me of all the things I'd accomplished, of how strong I was. That night, I decided to take his words to heart. I started small, cleaning up my apartment, reconnecting with my old hobbies. I picked up my camera again, went back to the gym, and cleaned up my social media. A few months later, I got an email from the Portland office. They were reopening a position I'd applied for a year ago, but withdrew because of Ethan. I decided to take the chance and move to Portland. Then the wedding invitation arrived. Tessa wrote that I was an important part of her life and hoped I'd come. I was torn. Part of me wanted to face them, to show them I'd moved on. And so, I decided to go. Julian, the Italian-American architect I'd met in Berlin, offered to go with me. He understood my past and supported me every step of the way. The day of the wedding, we arrived at the historic lakefront estate. I saw Ethan and Tessa, and for the first time, I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, just a sense of closure. I gave Tessa a small box with a silver photo frame and a note wishing them peace. When I faced Ethan, I told him I'd come for myself, not for him. His apology felt too late, and I knew I'd made the right decision to move on. After the wedding, I returned to Berlin. I was promoted to creative director for the European region, and my street photography Instagram account gained over 10,000 followers. I was living a life I was proud of. One day, I got a message from an old classmate saying Tessa and Ethan were divorced. I wasn't surprised or relieved. I just hoped they'd find peace. Julian and I moved into a new apartment, and he gave me a key to a little house in Tuscany, a place I'd always dreamed of. I knew then that my life was no longer defined by the betrayal. It was a new beginning, a story written by my own hand.